Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead. This one is my review for the long-awaited, well, I don't know if it was necessarily anticipated, but kind of as well anticipated, however you want to view it, the first book of the Clementine three-part novel series. Alright guys, this is going to be doing another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our review for The Walking Dead Clementine series, Book 1. So, I have finally now gotten a chance to go ahead and read this book all the way through. And I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a, review and kind of my thoughts on the series overall. At least the first book, obviously. Now, this is a series part 1 of 3, so obviously there's going to be 2 more. Which I do know that this is a yearly thing, at least according to my, kind of insight from some of you guys. You guys have told me that the next one is not releasing until next year. So obviously they're taking their time with this, which, makes sense. Obviously, it is still a long enough, book to, I would say, satisfy people for about a year. But at the same time, I'm talking about the length, okay? Now, a lot of you guys were asking me for the past, I would say a couple days ever since this has come out, Dan, when are you going to review this? And when are you going to review this? And, usually with the Walking Dead, universe, I'm always on the up and up with everything. I always like to upload a review for anything Walking Dead related basically immediately because it's, it's what I grew up on. Obviously, it's Walking Dead is a huge part of my life, but, with this, I think I was kind of hesitant to review this based off of where we left things with Clem on the last time, where basically what this series is, for anybody that doesn't know what this is, I'll explain this real quick for anybody. This takes place after the events of the Walking Dead Telltale game Season 4. Now, in between this and Telltale Season 4, there was a 12-page mini graphic novel that was released last year titled Clementine Lives. And in that, basically, she decided that she was going to leave AJ and her apocalypse, son, and kind of basically, and she decides to leave him only with one leg, and decides to go out there into the world because she just doesn't want to be with him anymore. Okay, so now in this series, this is basically what goes down, and I am gonna have to, kind of get started by saying this. Tilly Walden, who does this, who writes this, I want to make sure that I address this before I get into the actual story. This is not a hit piece on you. This is not, if there's any kind of chance in hell that she watches this video, this is not a hit piece on Tilly Walden. This has nothing to do with her. I'm sure she's a very nice person, but in terms of just me as a viewer, I have to express what I think about this. Tilly Walden, I have nothing against her, but in terms of, the actual story and everything like that, I have to address the problem here. This is a series that I can actually say, I was unsure of it. I was very nervous about it. And after reading it and after going through with it, I can actually say I do not understand why they did this. I can actually say now, reading the entire first book, I can actually say I do not understand why they've done this. Okay. It's just, it doesn't work. It's not a good series. It's not an interesting series. And they are, I would say, to be honest, they are trying their best to make money at this point, because you can't tell me that someone that sat down and looked at the script for this or looked at the general, concept of this said that this was a good idea, okay? This is basically what goes down in the book, okay? Clementine is out there. She kills the dead. She's out there. She's only got one leg. She's using her, crutches, basically. And she runs into people that run into her as she's having her period. Yes, we do see that. And we see them run into her. They take her back to their community where we meet this guy, this doctor, who essentially gives her this peg leg, this wooden peg leg type of thing here, and this prosthetic, type of thing. And she decides that she doesn't want to be with these people anymore. She wants to go out there. She wants to, just kind of do things on her own. And she goes out there, and essentially what goes down is that she runs into this guy that kind of is on this horse and buggy type of thing, right? And this guy, kind of offers her, a ride. And after a while, Clem wants to leave. She doesn't want to, hang out with this guy anymore. Their horse and buggy get attacked, and she just, by the dead and stuff, and she just doesn't want any kind of part of it. So she decides to leave, and this guy runs after her. And this is when I was starting to get really frustrated with this series, is because she wants to leave, and the guy would say, it's better to stick together. And she would say, no, I just want to go. I'm leaving. And he says, okay, well, what if you don't leave me? What if I just come with you? I'm like, buddy, you just met this chick. Like, seriously, what is wrong with you? She clearly doesn't want to be with you. She wants to go on her own. She wants to do things her own way. And he continues to chase after her. He really started to frustrate me after a while. And here is really what this series is about, is that she runs into people that, she forms a group. And by the end of it, only a few people are left. I think this girl named Olivia is alive by the end of this, but aside from that, there's not many of them that are left. By the end of it, they end up, all dying. Clem ends up just being on her own with this other, few characters, and they get into this plane and they basically ride off. I mean, that's a general, description of what this series is, And I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of this where the art was so bad to where I was zoning out because I did not find the art gripping. The art was actually hard to follow. The visual aspect of this was absolutely horrible. And again, compared to the Charlie Adler, drawing, and I'm not trying to compare here, but whoever drew this, I can actually say did not do a good job because the art was hard to tell what the frig was going on after a while. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, and I'm not going to pretend like it is, and I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to give it a pass. No, for a series as popular as The Walking Dead, I have high standards, and I think us as fans all have high standards, and I think that this was honestly really bad. And that's kind of my opinions on the art. Now, it's bad enough that the art is not good. Second of all, that the story I found to be very just not gripping, okay? I did not find this to be gripping. I found this to be a repeat of season 2, where you've got all these people that kind of rely on Clem after a while, and all these people that randomly run into her all kind of join together and rely on Clem to kind of figure a way out. And by the time the season's done / book is done, it's the same thing. Barely anybody gets out alive. I mean, it's basically the same thing. It's season 2 on repeat. And I find that to be very frustrating, to be honest. And let's talk about the other thing. And this is about the only other thing I'm going to mention about this book, guys. And I do apologize for not going into much detail, but I got to admit, after a while, I was starting to zone out. Now, one of the only other things I am going to mention about this are some of the flashbacks that we do see with Lee, okay? Lee is in this a few times, as well as AJ. And for the first time in entertainment, I can actually say there was something that I felt to be pointless. I felt these flashbacks to be pointless. Did you feel any kind of progression in the story by seeing these flashbacks? And I'm actually interested in knowing if you did. Because to me, I'm looking at these flashbacks and I'm like, okay, is it cool to see Lee again? Yes. But is there any kind of progression in the story? Is there any kind of big reveal that pushes the story forward? Or is it just simply put there so that they can tell you that Lee is in this? And so they can advertise it on Skybound. So they can put it in trailers and tell you, he's in this. Go buy it, And that's really a big issue. So I don't find Lee to progress the plot whatsoever. I also find it very hard to feel for Clem in these moments where she just ditched AJ at the end of the last book, The Clementine Lives. So this is my opinions on this. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's visually good. I don't think the story is good. I think it's very generic. And I think the characters, none of them are gripping. I mean, to be honest. I mean, I'll always enjoy Clem, but all the other characters are not gripping to me. So I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10, which is a severely bad rating. Okay, I know. But I can actually say there really wasn't too much drawing me to this. There really wasn't. So let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about this? Book 1 of the Clementine series. That is all I got. That's all I got for this video, guys. So that is it. That's my review. That's my thoughts. We'll be back when the next book releases, which from my understanding is next year. So it's going to be a little while. So yeah. That is it for this video, guys. Make sure, of course, though, if you're new here, to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to also follow me on Instagram, Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews, and I'll see you guys really soon for another video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
My God, no!